Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to what some people are calling the Nico Show. Yes, that's right, the Bosnian Bulldozer just put on an absolute Counter-Strike clinic here. I don't think we've seen a performance like that at this tournament so far, and if he keeps that up, God help Optic.
It could be over real quick. That's vintage Nico right there. That's the kind of Nico that at one point was just taking over the world of Counter-Strike. And we haven't seen that kind of performance from him in a while. It's good to see him back, Grand Slam up for debate, with a major around the corner. It's one hell of a time to turn things up.
Absolutely, I completely agree. But we do move on to Train next, and that's obviously going to be Optic's pick. It's a much more methodical, tactical map. It's not as run and gun as Dust 2 is. Obviously, it's a bit more complicated than that, but you get what I mean. It's a very spawn-based, very chaotic map, which lends itself to stars like Nico. And Optic now can apply the brakes and slow things down, go for the executions, and not be completely destroyed at the start of each round wherever he decides to go. So I'm expecting this to be a closer game, but you're right, the way he's playing right now, it's not like it's going to get much easier for them, but they should stand a chance to at least make this one close. Trying to avoid that 2-0, of course. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but we will see. Nico just looks too damn good right now. We will say that Yugi not as explosive as we were hoping for in Dust 2, considering the map as well, and Cajun B, I was about to say, he's on your screen right now. He finished on, what, 4 kills and 20 deaths, and that's really not the way you want a star like him to go down, especially on one of his home maps as well. Able to be one of the absolute best of that historically for CSGO. So we'll hopefully see him pick things up. He can double AWP on this map if required with the likes of Snappy on Train. So there he is, the in-game leader, who had some wonderful moments in the initial sectors of the game, especially that A-site hold, but it all fell apart after that, I would say. Yeah,
that 4K hold was sublime, but after that, didn't really see him too much. So, I mean, 16-6, it could have easily been a lot more one-sided. They won both pistols, they lost the round 2 both times, so on another day, it could be like 16-2, 16-1, honestly. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I did forget that fact that they did win both pistols, and still it went down like that. That second round on the T side for FaZe, when they went towards short, just looking to get the bomb down, right? They brought a few chanced Eagles, which they technically shouldn't really do if they want to go for the AKs in the next round, but my God, did it work out for them. The Guardian Deagle was sublime during that second half. He looks very happy with himself right now, and rightly so. Had some great moments there. It's great when FaZe look like the full unit. No one's dropping off and everyone's contributing. We talked about Carrigan a few times this tournament, not really looking his best, but certainly shook off the cobwebs there in the previous map. His long hold, although died a couple of times initially, really pulled up his socks and managed to get stuck in with some magical sequences. Really, really smart stuff from him. And so yes, Cajun needs to get out of the rut. We've seen him have a few games like that over the last year or so. Sometimes does happen, but the best players know it's just one map. It was unlikely he could be FaZe on their home map anyway, especially Dust 2. I felt like Optic will feel more at home here, and hopefully Yugi can get into the swing of things as well, because when he goes off as well, he can display some fireworks at the same time, just like Nico did previously. Yeah, I mean, he could just be more comfortable on Train and dictate the pace of the action. It seemed he didn't really get a chance to get into that first map of Dust 2. The economy didn't really support him. And just to also back up what you said about everyone pulling their weight, at half-time it was 10-5. Everybody from FaZe had over 10 frags.
Yes.
Whereas on the side of Optic, you had, I think, Yugi and Snappy were near the top, and then Cajun had like 2 or 3 kills.
Yes.
So that really needs to change. Yeah,
Yugi was mid-table with around, I think, like 6 as well. So, yeah, certainly not ideal. But, yes, it's just a map loss. It doesn't matter what the score is. It could be 16-14. It could be 16-0. If you lost, you just move on and go to the next one. It doesn't matter how it went down. So they can definitely recover. They're absolute professionals. The Optic side, they know what they have to do here. There's Config. Want to see more from him. Can be one of the absolute best in Denmark on his day. Whether we'll see that here is yet to be seen. There's Gade in his rookie year, trying to prove his worth, and he's definitely had some good moments here at the Corsair DreamHack Masters, that's for sure. Gonna need a few more, though, to overcome the likes of Nico Carrigan there. So, looks like the knife is done. Good news for Optic, they're starting on the CT side. We always stay on Train. It's very important. Like Dusty, we didn't really talk about it too much, but it's a very CT-sided affair here. Depending on the matchup, and stylistically, I would say, but overall, definitely favourable to on the CT side. We'll have a look at the buys as they come in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second map of our best of 3. FaZe currently lead 1-0. We're going to see those PT50s once again. Just a single one, actually. That's going to be in the hands of Olof Meister. And they'll have 2 smokes, 2 flashbangs, and that's sending 3 players towards inside. Funds are exchanged. We are still live. And Rain and Cole go very aggressively outside the smokes before I go for that fast farm of lots of things.
I can sense the blood in the water, and they're looking to strike. Nico and Rain both already get themselves a kill on the board. Bomb plant in the back of the site in the smoke. And now Rain's going to see if he can wrap himself around. Speaking of which, Snappy's on the flank. He's found one. If he'd got the second, this round would have been well and truly back open, but it is now. The Config came in for one of his own. Guardian needs to win this trade. He's going to lose out on it. Now, Olofmeister with a 1-on-2 is going to put that P250 to use with a 1-tap onto Snappy, looking to rinse and repeat, misses out. Config doesn't have a kit, although he does have a smoke. Now he's just picked up the kit, and he's going to go for the full-on defuse. Olofmeister needs to spam through there and hope for the best, and he gets the headshot just in the nick of time.
Look how calm he looks as well. Olofmeister is back, baby. Great stuff from him. P250, that first shot in the 2 versus 1 as well was sensational. Really calm, knew what he had to do, fumbled the movement at about this point, got caught in an awkward position. Config did very well to find the smoke, get the defuse kit, make things uncomfortable, and that could have gone either way, to be honest. Olofmeister got the knife out, started swinging and missing. The PD-50 might have connected to the head, but he stayed calm throughout and didn't give too much away, and there will be not the full investment from Optic here. They've got Cajun and Yugi, the designated AWP, that makes sense, not fully investing into this one. Snappy and Kodo, they've gone for Deagle, CZ's 1 scout. I'm not a huge fan of this because now you've only got 3 players going all in. You kind of got a disparity in terms of the money. Sure, those guys are saving for AWPs, but it doesn't seem there's enough firepower to win the round. It doesn't seem that justified to me. If, like, I can handle the 1 AWP I'm not purchasing, but I just don't see how 2 pistols and a scout are really going to carry you through a round. But let's see how it pans out.
Especially against the team of FaZe's caliber.
Oh, wait.
Well, it shouldn't be, but it's actually USP. They don't even need an upgrade, apparently, for Cajun B. He's just going to rip through the head. This is where the superior firepower really should come to the forefront. Config, though, with 2. He had some moments on Dust 2. He's going to step up. Nico, though, continues to burn through Optic with a double headshot with the Galil 2-0. But Optic, that was a little bit close.
Rock'em sock'em Counter-Strike right now, Vince. This is actually getting quite exciting again. He's still Config getting it done with the Deagle, one of his calling cards there. But Nico, his aim, I'm just like keeping my PC on him, locked on, just seeing how the aim's looking. I've never seen anything like it. It looks like it's like some sort of aimbot, how crisp it is right now. It's just locking onto heads like a laser every instance he's in. It's so cool to watch. And there we go. It will be 2-0 Optic with the full eco here, a P250. I think that's all they've invested. 300 bucks into the round. That's in the hands of Config. And we'll see whether he can do anything at all. I'd anticipate a 3-0 here, if I'm being completely honest, but maybe they can get a couple of kills. 2-0 for FaZe, and they are looking very, very good so far.
Certainly not going to go against you on that 3-0 prediction. It'll have to be a P250 for Config. And that has been lost. Rain's going to find him with a CZ. Pop Dog has been opened up for business. Gade's going to try and shut it off once again, but needs to just back the hell out of there because Rain is in hot pursuit. He has a whole bunch of terrorists alongside him. They are getting some damage. Don't notice DT is consistently at least chipping away a kill here and a kill there. It will help them in terms of their nades and also take some of those weapons away from FaZe, but the end result is going to be the same. The script has been read and it's not going to change for Optic. 3-0 FaZe will take it. And the weapon they lost can easily be replenished. It was the expendable Mac-10, I believe, so no huge issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're up against the double AWP setup now. Optic, like we said, Cajun B and Yugi. Quite a tantalizing combo. You've got 2 very different styles of AWPing in that lineup. You've got Yugi, the flashy aim star, going for aggressive picks, and then you've got old methodical Cajun, just holding for the shots that really count, trying to win the rounds, not trying to give too much away. So we'll see whether that works out. Yin and Yang, perhaps, as they'll try and work in perfect harmony here. As for now, round 4. It looks like FaZe want to execute straight away. They're going to send 4 players, make it 5 towards inside, trying to shut down the potential here. This is where Cajun needs to show us what he did. Like I said, he's holding back here, going for that 1 shot, nothing too crazy, hits it and repositions.
Does miss the second. Is that going to cost Optic dearly? As Guardian now can get out in amongst it. Olofmeister going to find himself a kill. 2 post-plant, 3-on-3, and Guardian takes the initiative and pushes forward towards Connector. That has been smoked off. Molotov, additionally, just to the back of the trains, really trying to funnel in the CTs to a one-dimensional, one-pronged retake. And this is proving to be very uncomfortable for Optic. They haven't put anyone through yet. They're wasting valuable time.
I think this is almost a no-go for them. It was looking so good as well. Cajun did his job, hit the first. Like you said, they'd have missed in the second. it was definitely possible for him to get that second kill. Just a bit of a miss there, unfortunately for him. Guardian finds another, and they're just looking unstoppable right now. These are the best times to do these kind of calls, Vince. I think I've discussed this many times before. It's the first gun round, you know the score's won the second. They're not going to be fully equipped to hold off a full execution. You want to just be punishing where areas they might not have, the incendiary, for example. They might not have a kid on this side of the map. If you can trade kills like exactly what happened here, to get that bomb down, you can almost guarantee they won't be going for the retake. They don't have the utility, especially like a 3-on-3. When you've got the bomb down, you're hitting all your shots. It's a very common strategy, and Karrigan calls it to perfection there. Very good stuff from him. They do save 2 weapons, one of which is the Orb of Yugi. We'll see whether he can do anything about this. Fires off the shot from the connector as he gets blind.
It definitely seems like, you know, a team's kind of got wobbly knees. You're going for that KO blow before they can really get themselves back in and dust off the cobwebs. Now, Optic with an AWP, an M4. CZ with Kevlar. Let's see if they can hold the line. Snappy rattles out the 1 dig, not going to connect. Nico in the meanwhile with his AK has gone to town onto config. Cajun B has to just get the hell out of there and wait for the cavalry to arrive, which it will momentarily from connector. He's just going to be walking over the corpses of his teammates at this stage. And this gate's been put down to 6 to the 1-on-4, and Karrigan will not allow it to pass.
This is getting pretty brutal now. Remember on the T side of train, and they just look so comfortable. FaZe have not been tested yet, but Optic can still recover. Very early days here. We'll see how we look at the frag charts. Yugi 1-4. The top is config 4-4. Very equal. If you look at the scoreboard for FaZe, I've got 5 or 4 frag spins. Once again, everyone's contributing and looking like they're listening to Karrigan, sticking to whatever he's calling, and just making sure they get in there and work together. Trading is the key in Counter-Strike, and it's looking very, very good so far.
It's been the FaZe that I'm waiting to see for a while.
Oh, what?
Snappy just
Clip there. What happened there? We need to see the replay. Did he just straight up shoot through the smoke? I guess he saw the bullets coming through the smoke itself. Took a bit of a gamble there. Takes him down. Snappy's going to be gutted with that one, though.
Yeah, and it's not really a risk play. The Guardian had a second player with him, so if he pushed the smoke, he would have been killed anyway.
Yeah.
So you see the trajectory of those bullets, the traces come through the smoke, and solid shot by Guardian. And Optic, I mean, that's the worst case scenario. They finally have a buy-in play. It's 5-0 behind. You lose a player in the first 10, 20 seconds. Backs against the wall. It's
such a gamble play by him as well, because remember, he hasn't got anyone with him to back him up on that play. Like you said, the terrorists definitely do. He's got the smoke down. It was unlucky he goes down, but still not necessary. The way the FaZe are playing right now, you do not want to be in individual duels with them. You want to be working together, crossfires, blocking them out of utility, running the clock down. The fact that Snappy's gone down with nothing there essentially really does not bode well. And they're going back towards inside, knowing they've got a player away from this area. It'll just be the one, but Gay does manage to equal the situation, but surely goes down now. He's doing a very good job so far. Still alive somehow. Karrigan finally takes care of him, and Cajun B hits a very decent shot. They might stand a chance here. 3 versus 2 in their favor.
Gade's 2 kills may have just brought them back into this round.
Yes.
Unbelievable play by him. But Karrigan been playing well so far in this best of 3, and it's Nico, the one-man army.
He's very far removed from the situation, though, Vince.
He's starting to make a move now, though. I think he can sense that his teammate needs his help, and Karrigan going to see if he can pincer off, pivot off this side. Not going to get any, but now it's up to Nico. Can throw out the Molotov. There isn't a smoke to defuse either. That could be the round done. They have to run into his crosshair, and he will not be missing today. It's going to be Yugi that gets the frag. I don't think they've got enough time. It's going to be very close, though. Oh, they just about have it, Henry.
They just about have it. It felt like it was job done for Nico there. As soon as that Molotov comes down, if you had thrown it half a second later, that would have been enough. But still, no real reason for celebrations just yet for Optic. Only 2 players survived. They've got to reinvest into this round. The reset potential is off the scale. I thought Nico had that in the lock and key with that Molotov.
Me too.
It looked like it was absolutely his, but at last second defuse, and still a double AWP set up here. Optic aren't looking too shabby, but remember, they can't afford to lose this round. And if they do win it, there has to be with decent numbers here. Guardian has helped himself to the outside area and takes down config. Luckily, the response from Yugi comes in. That was looking very dangerous.
That second shot was so spicy, but Nico going to whet his appetite, finding Cajun B's head and taking it off his shoulders. Surgical precision on this attack. Yugi's going to miss his opportunity, knifing the air in frustration, knowing how important that could have been. Snappy in the meanwhile, though, he's doing damage with his M4. Moving past the Olof position, who is still alive, by the way. Position that he has made famous and will land the headshot onto Snappy, leaving Yugi in 1-on-2. The bomb making a move to B.
That's not ideal. Yugi couldn't be further removed from this situation unless he is in towards T-spawn at this point. So he might just have to concede this one. Olaf Meister and make his way up. He stepped out, that is round over. He can't do anything with this, and that's the nightmare scenario. So this begs the question now, Vince. We're going to save the AWP on the Optic side. Do we force around it? Do we try and squeeze out this next round, or just let Yugi try and carry it? We have P250s. It's a difficult call. There'll definitely be a timeout, in my opinion, for the next round. They need to discuss that. This is getting out of hand now. You've just been reset. You're 6-1 down. Do we take the gamble? Do we try and steal the next one away with the force buy? You can see the money on your screens right now. You're all aware at this point. I'm sure after listening to me so much how the money works, so they're not going to have much of it next round. They're going to get $1,400 per player into the next round. They save the orb. They can get CZ's armor and the AWP, go for an aggressive push towards inside, perhaps have the orb at the backtrack to try and force them into Yugi's crosshair. I think they have to have a time ahead to discuss their options, or maybe they just take the full eco and have to take another round on the chin and try and protect Yugi. That's also an option. They're going for the force buy, can confirm that. No pause, though. I'm surprised. This is, for me, this is what I'll be taking the pause and calming my players down and say, look, we're still fine. Sure, we're a map down and this is not looking good, but everyone needs to get in the zone right now. We need to feel how we're going to win this round, but either way, they have force ball. Let's see whether they can get this in their favor.
I'm right alongside you. I'm amazed they haven't called a timeout because they saw how quickly Dust 2 just slipped away from them.
Yeah, indeed. I think they only took one pause there total. A lot of teams, to be fair, we have to reiterate that the coaches could talk throughout the DreamHack event. So I guess the pauses aren't as prevalent, but still, Rain opens things up, takes down a key player in the form of Config. Oh my god, the headshots are just relentless here, Vince, because Cajun B can do nothing. He's getting lightly roasted from beneath, and his head ripped off from up top. There we go. And it's going to be Yugi giving his position away ultimately. Now they can just hunt for that orb. The round's going in favor of FaZe. Will they get absolutely everyone to go with it, though?
They've got enough funds to justify throwing 1 or 2 weapons away on the pursuit of Yugi. Knowing that there's going to be nothing left, scraping the very bottom of the barrel. The round is over, however. FaZe will be taking a 7-1 lead. That is not open for debate any longer. Nico, of course, you're going to send out Rambo himself to try and deal with this issue. Yugi holding the back angle, should have the drop on Nico. In a position where he can easily flick to his right-hand side if Nico does just protrude round the corner. We'll also see his feet before he sees the rest of his body. But he's missed out on that shot, and he should be going down, and he will. And that's a huge scalp for FaZe to claim.
That's the only thing Optic had in their wheelhouse. He thought, well, maybe they can win the next round with the Yugi Orb. Well, they'll have to take another eco now. Remember, they only have first. They lost Brevis previously. Now they have second, which is $1,900 per player, and that says it all. He's got a long mile stare there. That's that's the coach of Optic. He can't really say too much at this point, Vince. He's just have to be like, well, it's a full eco, boys. Just try and do what you can. And either way, it's going to be Carragher taking the charge here as he'll make his way out. And have the smokes towards the connector. Nico to open things up, and it should just be a bit of a kidney round at this point for FaZe. Fair, not many of the rounds felt uncomfortable for them. Head is getting absolutely blown out the water here.
There's not much you can really do to break down what's happening. It's just FaZe on a different level.
Yeah, this is a team that's looking for that $1 million. For anyone who's not aware, the Intel Grand Slam, almost a circuit, collaboration with ESL, Intel, and DreamHack, I believe. And if you can win 4 events out of 10, you are eligible for $1 million. It does expire after this event. If FaZe don't win this one, they'd have to win New York after that, and that would get them back to 3. But either way, this is looking like they could go all the way. They can keep this level of play up. It's just beautiful to watch at this point. Orbs coming out again for Yugi, and they have taken the time out this point. I would have said before, when you're going for that force fight, that really did need one. But either way, Guardian back on the AWP. Nico again, top of the scoreboard. He's got 12 kills and 5 deaths, but everyone's contributing at this point. Same story for Optic, but just the numbers aren't high enough. 4 players on 4 kills, and Config at the top on 5.
Not much to write home about, really, about this Optic performance, especially on train. But maybe they can turn their fortunes around. We've already seen in this very tournament teams come back from these kind of deficits and worse. Nico looking like he could be the first person to push out of main, but Yugi just in position, peering down with his scope. Not seeing anything just yet. Damage inflicted to Rain. Drops to just 10. You can see the shadows just round the corner, Yugi. A barrage of terrorists waiting to funnel their way onto the site, and all the trades once again go in favor of FaZe. Finally, Cajun B is going to put a halt to that with 2 of his own kills. And with Olof and Rain both low, this isn't out of the realms of possibility. They could actually clutch this one out. Cajun's gone in for another one. He's actually on for the ace right now, plus the 1-on-3 clutch. But he's not going to be able to get past the hurdle of Guardian.
My God. At this point, FaZe, they're not doing anything wrong whatsoever. It's so difficult to contain them. Assertive strategies, just getting out there towards the outside area. Everyone hitting the shots. That was closer. Admittedly, that was going to require a Cajun B ace to win the round, and that just doesn't seem sustainable to me to win future rounds here. They're going to have to take another eco. 9-1 on the T side of the train after getting completely destroyed here on the first map, Dust 2, and they're going to go for an inside play. Fortunately, Nico and Rain, not a tag team combo you want to get involved with to get the first frag. Nico got tagged up there, but he hasn't really got armor. I'm going to find a kill. Config and Cajun. This Desert Eagles at least making this competitive, but it's going to be FaZe now on for 10 rounds as they equal things up. Still going down. They're getting a little bit sloppy now. This can happen sometimes, but still, Yugi left in the 2 versus 1. Carrigan trying to sniff him out. He'll be waiting by the bomb player. It's going to take something wonderful to win the round. It's not going to be delivered. And there it is, double digits with still 4 rounds to go.
It's a pretty depressing statistic, isn't it?
Yes, they could be on for a 14-1 here on the T side of train. They do have weapons again, though. Double AWP set up for the CTs. Just not really sure. There's not really much they can do to adjust. It's not like Optic are doing anything significantly wrong, and I can poke holes in their defense. They're doing what they usually do. It's just FaZe are just on another level, like you said, in terms of the fragging department right now. Not many people could contain them at this point.
Yeah, they're just getting outclassed at every turn when it comes to those aim duels. And Nico, though, is going to be burnt to a crisp down to 24. Trying to traverse his way out of A main. Gate's going to take a little bit of a tap from ramp. It does seem that Optic need to thrive in the chaos a little bit. We saw it in the last round with the pistols, just getting these off angles, just trying to flood and overwhelm the Ts. The downside is when they've got weapons, when they've got utility, and they play more standard and stock CS, they've just been battered.
When they lose that killer instinct, when you not see Config running around and just owning people wherever he wants, that's when you know they've been rattled. And they're trying to hold back, and they're not really playing to their strengths, which is that flair and that chaos that the analysts pointed out especially. But here comes Yugi. Much better, but that's not. Config gets completely destroyed there. He tries to get up close and personal, but the flashbang was too good. But Yugi starting to wake up now. That's looking more promising. 2 kills for him so far, but he will be dropped with the backstab from Rain. Good Molotovs coming in, and Snappy finds himself in a compromised position. Guardian shows us how good he can be with rifles as well. 3 versus 2. Rain's up and towards heaven. And what Gade and Cajun, what can they really do about this, Vince?
Gade's the key man. He'll be able to get the drop for the first player, but Nico and Rain, within a millisecond of each other, will shut this round down. 11-1. And Optic, after having 2 rounds in a row of a force buy, well, I say force, a full buy actually, are now eyeing up a potential force buy. Not too much money in the bank.
Unfortunately, this is looking quite grim for Optic. I'm not sure this is recoverable. 11-1 down. Now you've got another partial buy coming through. They've picked up 1 round on their CT campaign of train. If they're on the T side, I'd say saying, well, at this point, oh, if they can get 12-3, that'd be fine. But on the CT side, this just doesn't feel like they can get back from it. It's already looking weak after Dust 2, but this is their map pick and they just can't get anything going whatsoever. But normally when I make these big monologues about that sort of stuff, that's when the Deagles come out, they win the round, recover the situation, they probably win. So let's see if that happens.
One of the reasons CS is such a beautiful game, it's so unpredictable.
There we go.
Wouldn't you know it, Deagles ahead.
It just, I don't know why that always happens, but it seems to every single time. Let's see what FaZe can do about it.
And it's consistently going in their direction, but Guardian with 2. Putting FaZe back on the map in this 13th round, seeming like it could be unlucky for them, but maybe not. Guardian, a 3rd kill, delivered first class to Gade, leaving Cajun B and Yugi. They have at least got their hands on one of the AKs that's fallen. And both players have a little bit of power to play with. Yugi doesn't have Kevlar, which is going to be a downside, but does have a Deagle. 45 seconds left. Yugi's given his position away. He doesn't land the frag, and that's probably the round wrapped up. Although Cajun has been in form on train. He's on 10 and 12.
The thing is, though, they can just take in this little tag team now. How does he get a double kill when they're just sticking together? They're not, oh, he thinks he's gone inside as well. They've called this to perfection. Carrigan has done a very smart play there, but he's heard the footstep, at least KGB. We'll see the bomb going down, coming out of the connector. Remember, he's got no kit. He's got a flashbang and his AK-47. So he makes his way towards connector. He's got a chance there. I'm actually liking this. He's going to pretty much get this kill. We'll see whether Guardian anticipates it. There it does, and that's a great round for Guardian. Is that an ace? He gets 4. Carrigan took one away. But Optic looking like they were on for a Deagle round there. They actually managed to get, what, 2 or 3 kills, have the advantage, and Guardian, AWP gets 3, throws it away, picks up the AK-47. That's just great teamwork. That was really fantastic to watch. I think maybe a bit of a wake-up call. They were getting a little bit too chaotic with their outside rushes and stuff, and just running around. Started through some Deagle frags. Guardian slowed it right down. And we've got 3 snipers now for Optic. 2 AWPs and a scout. Not something you see every day.
Just trying to mix it up at this stage. Nothing else has really been working for them. Cajun's going to take his AWP into box halls. If he peeks too much further, he will be a dead man. I think he sensed it, so he's pieced out of there before the Molotov could whittle away any of his health. This is giving FaZe control over upper B. They have plenty of nades to execute with. Cajun B just going to watch from the catwalk perspective. Optic feeling like they have to make a move. Time and time again, FaZe have waited patiently and then got the entry frags where it counts. Smoke gonna block off vision.
Finally.
Nico's gone down though. That's big news for Optic and they need to capitalize off this.
First advantage I can recall they've had at the beginning sectors of a round here, but Gage, oh my goodness, completely destroyed there by the initial flashbang. Cajun hits the shot but doesn't get the frag. He'll have to recover this one. Yugi doing his best, but he's so delayed at this point, and Snappy taken out of the equation. Cajun still fighting here, goes down to a 2-on-2, but Rain seems to have their number. He completely destroyed Yugi with the timing there, and Cajun B stuck between a rock and a hard place at this point. 2 players to find, a bomb to defuse. AWP, not an ideal weapon to do it with, and there it is. A foregone conclusion is realized as we go 13-1. Vince, what are your thoughts?
I'm thinking, are there many positives to be said for Optic?
The thing
here?
is, we normally find a silver lining, right? But when the auto shotgun comes out in round number 15, you're 13-1 down. You're thinking this one might be over.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about that second best of 3 we have coming up here.
That one's going to be at Mouse Sports MIBR.
Yes.
Right? That's got to be the game of the day. I want to see Snacks turn up as well. I want to see him come back into form. But let's just focus on these last few rounds. As Snappy and Gate open things up, but they've had advantages before. They get thrown away. We'll have a 3 versus 4 now. Olaf Meister making his way to the side, but it's Nico that does find an opportunity. He can't quite find the frag. The auto shotgun gets the job done.
One of the best chances Optic have had to claim a round, and it's Olaf Meister to face off against Yugi and Gate. Had some time away from the game. Yet to see him really land that kind of form that we know he's capable of. The noise has been made, and Yugi is going to put down Olaf.
It's been a brutal affair. Let's throw down the stunner to hear his thoughts.
I've got some thoughts for you there, Henry G. Absolutely, utterly crushed, dominated, dominatrix style here from FaZe as they put the Hurtin and the Scunyon down on this Optic squad. But it's not over for them. Of course, there is another half to this game. That is exactly how this is played. But only time will tell if Optic can turn this around. But as it looks, not looking so good. If you're in Twitch chat and you agree, you might as well type something in Twitch chat. Let's try Monk S. How about that one? Let's try that one, and perhaps Henry Greer get us back into the game.
Well, there we go, Vince. That said it all. It's not looking good down there. I think they know which way this one is going, but you can never give up. You can never surrender. You got to keep going, however difficult it seems. We'll start with a pistol round, and unfortunately, as much as I try to make myself believe that, when you're going on to the T side now and you're 32 down, I'm not even sure that's going to be enough. If you had the pistol, I'd be just like, oh, can we just end this, please? This torture. But the thing is, like I said, I just want to make it clear, I don't think Optic are playing badly or doing anything necessarily wrong. It's just this is FaZe at 100% right now. This is where you can't stop them. They've got some of the world's best talents. They're all hitting the shots. The synergy's there. They're looking prepared. They're having fun. They're enjoying themselves. And the teamwork is, for me, was the biggest taking away from the first half. This when they were recovering those situations, like 2 versus 4s, you could see them thinking, slowing things down and taking it super seriously, making sure every player was perfect and giving themselves the maximum chance of winning it. Let's see if they can make it as clean as possible, win this pistol. We'll have a heavy Ivy approach here from Optic. Need this pistol desperately. Carrigan's got the defuse kit and smoke. And there we go. This could be the final commitments. The smokes start to be deployed here.
Plenty of Players have been spotted by Carrigan. He pulls back, but it's going to be the first blood being taken by Cajun B in this second half. Nico missing out on a few opportunities, and Optic are going to hang on a little while longer, it would seem, as Olof meets his demise courtesy of Gates. The second pistol does go the way of Optic. I believe Optic have won 3 out of the 4 pistols.
They have. They got both of them on Dust 2. They didn't get this one, but they've just won that. So 3 out of 4, absolutely spot on. So presumably, we'll see the Force Buyer from FaZe, and that's normally a win for them because it's going to Deagles out, CZ, and just rattle the ancestors of Optic here. We'll see what happens. Deagle can be so satisfying to watch, especially on a map like Train. You get some real crisp, long-range headshots coming in. As he'll see whether this is going to be enough. Guardian just a note, not spending all his cash. He's the AWPer. They're not getting too carried away. Traditionally, I'd be saying it's not really worth force buying these scenarios because you want to save maximum money. You've already got this huge lead. You don't need this round. But I guess I can't really argue with anything FaZe are doing right now. They know what they're doing. They seem absolutely under control.
Just heard the distant sound of a USP round rattling the head of Gade, who's been dropped down to 48 health. Fortunate it wasn't one of those Desert Eagles. Well, FaZe would have the advantage. As it stands, though, a weakened Snappy going to join the rest of his brethren, playing more passive angles. 3 of which are in T-main. Setting up for the smokes on outside. And only Nico, I mean, I say only Nico, there's a huge asterisk next to that. He pretty much counts for 5 players at this point. But he is going to be the only player to greet them as they endeavor outside. The rest of the team has been smoked out from Connector, Rain and Carrigan from Ivy. Guardian just behind them. How many bodies can Nico drop? And the answer so far is 1. Not going to add a second notch to his belt. But Guardian is going to finish off Gade with a USP of all weapons. Decided not to upgrade his weapon, and so far so good. 3-on-3 retake, surely. This has got to be around for Optic. You cannot lose this. It's an AK and a UMP up against 3 pistols and a very weakened Carrigan. No kits, no nades. Optic in prime position to strike and strike. Snappy shall. Olafmeister put down a peg or 2. Their position's looking good additionally. I don't think FaZe have got any shout in this round now.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. Certainly a little bit worrying for them, but Guardian is going to pick up the AK-47. They know they can't win the round anymore, but still taking away the Deagle. The AK, they've managed to find 3 kills. They could definitely cause some more damage going forward. But there we go, exactly what Optic needed. Let's get a 2-0. Wasn't as clean as they would like, sure, but they win the round, get on the board. In recovery mode at this point. A lot of pressure out on that young man's shoulders. Snappy needs to work this one out. It's the in-game leader. So we get into round number 18 here. Will we see any more investment from FaZe, considering they've got the Deal and the AK? We see one more Desert Eagle come into the hands of Guardian. Rain still with the Kevlar as well. Hopefully he's thinking that if Nico goes down, I'll grab that AK from him. See what I can do.
Okay, straight out. No quarter given. Guardian, though, the stray Deagle round is going to connect to the head of Config. Nico with 2. And a Rain, very weak and Cage just flicks to his head. And FaZe have got it done with only 1 casualty. Optic have been completely gutted.
You know they've got an AK. Okay, guys, this is CS 101 right now. I want the analysts to have a little chat about this one as well. You know one of the world's best players has got an AK-47. Let's maybe work out where he is first before we just run out blindly towards an area where he has a bird's eye view of the area. Like, you just got to run a default there. Just kind of feel the map out. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Just running outside against a team like FaZe, the shots are hitting. That is just not the correct call for me. Slow things right down. Let's get an inkling of where he might be, and then we can react from that. You're just going in completely blind, and you will be punished for that. That's a really disappointing round for them to give up. I don't think it's going to affect the overall outcome. There's a dink from Nico. Oh my God, he's hitting everything, even players he can't see, Vince. Snappy, the only player with the weapon, gets taken down, and Rain will capitalize upon it. Finds himself a kill from the upper platform, drops the Molotov to let himself fall back, but Snappy's still low.
It does seem, Henry, this is the beginning of the end of this best of 3. FaZe would move across to the playoffs and qualify for the arena. Optic would have to go back into another matchup. Not over just yet, but it's certainly looking likely. Already a foot over the finish line for FaZe. Snappy tanked down to 21. Really just trying to stall out a little bit more time here, Optic. They do have a couple smokes and a Molotov to play with, which are now starting to be tossed out towards the site. The spray's on point for Rain, though. And as Yugi just gets completely smacked aside. And they've already expended quite a bit of their utility, Henry, and it seems like they're going to go back to A, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be a different outcome.
I think you might be right. I think we're coming to a logical conclusion very shortly. 5 versus 2 now, Snappy engaged. They do have a little bit of weaponry here, but it's just relentless. They can't really do much about this now. 5 versus 1. Snappy's got that original 21 HP from the initial headshot through the wooden boards. He does answer back, so at least he wins that battle against Nico. The last laugh there, but overall, there it is. Series point for FaZe as they go 15 for 4. And they haven't really given up much at all here, Vince. And 2 maps could be potentially 10 rounds total. They give up, and Optic, let's look quite dejected now. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to convince yourself this is fine. You know, like, they know which way this is going. You've got to keep battling the best you can. 5 deagles, though, and 11 rounds in a row for overtime. It's just not looking likely, but I think we should mainly focus on FaZe. The Counter-Strike they're delivering right now, this is sending out a message to every other team in this tournament who are looking shaky right now. If you think of the results that come through, Astralis losing to North, congratulations to the North, that's amazing, but still, Astralis, you'd think, considering #1 right now, this tournament, a bit of a lock-in for them, but they're showing signs of weakness, and FaZe, it's a little bit off yesterday, but you cannot argue with what we're seeing right now. This is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, we were having a discussion about this just before we went live between the two of us, and then no team has really stood up and made themselves counted, but I think off this performance, you really do have to respect FaZe now. In terms of this round, it's been a complete blitz once again. Config, the only player to give any hope to Optic to keep that dream alive. Joined with Gade, opposite sides of the map, however. Molly placed down just to stop the push. That's a solid flashbang. Will at least yield the frag onto Nico. Able to also pick up the M4. So maybe there's a few twists and turns left in this story yet.
He's doing his absolute best here, Config. 40 seconds remaining. His teammate Gage makes his way to the main entrance. Does Rain have any sort of idea? He doesn't. Gage takes him down. This is a 5-on-2. Pretty remarkable stuff. They've even made this possible for themselves. Bomb goes down courtesy of Olaf Meister. Now Config, he'll be removed. Great effort there towards the end there, Vince, but it was all in vain. It will be a convincing FaZe victory. They ran away with Dust 2, 16-6 after losing both pistols, and on train it was even worse. That was Optic's pick, and I just want to say one more time, I do feel like it was FaZe just looking a kind of form I've never seen them before. That was something quite special there. It wasn't Optic playing necessarily bad, but it was just FaZe running away with it, playing perfect Counter-Strike there.
FaZe conceded 10 rounds over the duration of that best of 3, and 3 of them were pistol rounds.
That's right, that's a very good point, and still, Optic couldn't really get going in this one at all. It was very exciting, the initial sectors of Dust 2. If you remember, I was saying, this is the game we were looking for. We got the back and forth, some big clutches from Optic. It got to about 4-4 or something like that. Nico came online, and then at that point, it was just game over, wasn't it? It all just fell apart for them. Really enjoyed that, though. That's got to be one of the best performances this year from Nico, I would say. Just in terms of what he was displaying on Dust 2, like, I don't think there's many players that can replicate that. That's why he's considered one of the best in the world, because when he does hit his peak, when he does get to the top of his skill ceiling, there's not much that can stop him. But now, Vince, that was a lovely, lovely little demonstration of Counter-Strike perfection. And talking of perfection, we'll throw it over to Alex Richardson.
Oh, you goddamn charmer. Yeah, we'll be back with those beautiful human beings in just a moment, but first we have to understand how that just happened. I like that Henry's getting so hyped by this Nico performance because it's starting to bleed into the desk as well. There were some things happening that you have to ask for replays just to understand what he did. I mean, that's kind of testament to just how powerful that was.
Nice and snappy with the deagle. Not only that, the AWP over towards A, very potent, but he just made it look easy, right? Like, it was one of those games where we had one before with Device earlier in the tournament. It was actually the kickoff today where it's like, man, it's one of those games where every decision you make goes wrong.
Right.
The opposite with Nico, where every decision you make and every shot you take hits, lands, and everything in between, you're getting given everything. Should we do a Counter-Strike parody to that song?
Sorry, it's music.
I'm just standing over here listening.
We do a duet, a really good duet of the song from Aladdin. I'll show you the world. You do Jasmine.
Sorry, why am I Jasmine? We had some crazy antics just to even kickstart our first map in this series. It was, of course, Olaf on that scout doing some beautiful things. This was, still don't really get it. How is...
So, I guess Henry was alluding to it a little bit because obviously they practice against each other. They have to throw a smoke, so they've limped a smoke through the doors, right? Now, the option with that smoke is normally, hey, we're going to cheat a player into lower dark, and he's probably just spamming, you know, just trying to be a nuisance, doesn't want to take a wide peek because he does have that AK, or he actually knows that they do that boost.
Well, they did say they scrimmed a lot, which I guess...
And he's like ready for that, knowing that they're going to stack there. But the fact that he got 2 headshots with 2 bullets is pretty mental.
Yeah, and I think it's a fair point to raise that they have practiced against each other. And what scares me the most about that is how convincingly FaZe were.
Yeah, right.
It didn't seem close at any point. Dust 2, maybe a little bit, you know, in the beginning, in the first half, it was a little bit back and forth. I think Henry said it a few times as well. It was just a deathmatch match, basically. And you don't want to play deathmatch against FaZe. Like, that's as simple as it is. So Optic need to come out with something else if they ever wanted to stand a chance against winning against FaZe. So a little bit disappointed that they didn't have more to pull off.
Yeah, and of course the main man, the spearhead of the FaZe assault, has managed to grab a headset and hopefully can talk to us now for a moment. Nico, hey bro, so what did you have for breakfast? Help us out. What do we need? What are we doing wrong to play like that Dust 2 game?
For breakfast I had like 1 hour deathmatch, half. That was enough.
Okay, well that's pretty tasty.
Sounds pretty tasty.
I haven't had that for breakfast in a while. I have a question for you, and look, it's a big one. It's a big one.
I'm ready.
What are you going to spend $1 million on?
Whoa, I haven't thought about it yet. I don't want to think about it.
This is the question everybody has. It's like, oh, you know, if you won the lotto, what would you spend $1 million on? I thought you'd be like, yeah, Chad, I'm going to get like a jet ski and an island.
I think you're forgetting he's not winning $1 million himself.
No,
right,
but I want to make... Oh, you've ruined it.
But you had, what, 32 frags, 143 ADR. We felt like watching it, it looked like deathmatch. Did it feel like deathmatch to you?
A bit so, I would say. Like no, but the CT side, I feel like they gave me a lot of free frags heads up, so I just like hit every shot that like they offered me. So I think that's just why I performed really good though.
Yeah, and just generally for the team as well, I want to understand a little more, because we spoke to Olof yesterday and he said we were really rusty, communication was awkward. How have you turned it around to such a dramatic degree where you've just kind of picked up the quickest series so far here at the Corsair DreamHack Masters?
Yeah, yesterday was a bit chaotic, as result shows already. But today, I think we also like started like the same pretty much. Like it was also a bit chaotic at the start, but then we won like the anti-eco we won. The second round helped us a lot just to bring like some rounds, because we have struggled a lot as CT on the bootcamp, and then we didn't really expect to get as many rounds as CT as we did. So like just like grinding the rounds as CT helped us a lot, just going to T side and just like bringing our best game.
Talking a little bit about having Olaf Meister back on your team, what is the feel on the team now that you have this current 5th member of your team back in the stable? You know, before you're playing with Chrome and you're playing with stand-ins all the time. I could imagine motivation for practice wasn't that high. Has that changed ever since Olaf came back?
Yeah, when Olaf came back, like at the end of the first season, was like our motivation was already gone. Like we played so many events with stand-ins, and then when he just came, he was like the only one who just had motivation to practice and like to play so much. So like I kind of feel bad for him, because like he came in kind of wrong moment, even though we are really happy that he came back. But yeah, having him right now is just like relief for our team. Like he is the player. Like I don't think any player on the scene can replace him. He's just so important for the team that like he's just bringing to the team whatever like we need. So like playing with Olaf is just like amazing. There's no player who can replace him. 100%.
Your Swedish army knife. Nico, cheers, dude. I'll see you in the upper bracket.
Yep.
That's nice work from FaZe Clan, as they are locked in for the Ericsson Globe. That's right. They're going to be playing on that main stage event. And of course, if you want to pick up tickets, why don't you go ahead and do so? You can find them nice and easily. In fact, I don't know, the graphics guy's probably panicking right now, but you could occasionally put the URL there where you can get tickets. It's just dreamhack.com/tickets.
Do you have a ticket, Alex?
I've got a free ticket. Yeah, I'll be heading over there.
Like the golden ticket.
Golden ticket.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Do you know the globe looks like a crashed Death Star?
It kind of does have a Star Wars
with
vibe
some windows.
I see exactly where you're coming from, actually. Yeah.
I hope it doesn't have one major flaw. I got nowhere to go with that. That would have been really cool if I had like a setup or something. But like,
tell you what, man. You know, when things are going bad in game and out of game, it's always good just to strafe away from your troubles. And you, talking of strafe, can go ahead and check out the app. It's got the same name, and indeed worth checking out, because it gives you all the news, articles, and statistics that you can go ahead and find. All the good stuff in the palm of your hand. And of course, you get to follow your favorite players. That's kind of their thing.
Where can I find it? Can I find it on the Pixel? Where would I look?
I guess Google Play and iOS will probably be the best store to find the strafe application.
Wonder if you still have a profile in there, John.
Now that, okay, right. Well, that's something for him to do while we take a break. Coming up after the break, though, our last series of the day, and one of the most anticipated. It's time to see Mouse Sports in their sexy new jerseys, pillow fighting, and going up against MIBR with Yanko as the coach. I'm so hyped. See you then.